Making these 5 mistakes has cost me 6 figures minimum, and chances are you've made a couple of these too. So let's go through what they are in order for you to be able to avoid these and start making more money on Amazon KDP. First thing I want to say, guys, is thinking better is out there. I see this all the time, every year. Good publishers having a break, or they're trying to find something else, another business, or whatever it is. And 90% of the time, they always come back. This is exactly what happened to me. If you're a guy out there that's thinking that there might be better out there, there isn't. Trust me, I've done it. And this is genuinely one of the easiest and most passive online businesses out there. If you're a beginner and you don't have that many skills, genuinely this is your best option. So whether you're a year in, 2 years in, 3 years in, eventually you're going to come to a point where you think there's better out there. And my advice is, don't make this mistake. Stay on the road and build something big, because eventually things will get bigger as long as you're in the game the whole time. My breaks and whatnot caused a massive roller coaster ride, basically. Now, second thing is not automating earlier. These tasks are insanely simple to create the book. You shouldn't be doing them once you're making at least 3K plus in profits. It's literally only $300 per month to get this outsourced. So do it earlier than you think, guys. You need to start focusing more on what actually matters. And in terms of like making a book and messaging these people to organize it, these are very, very low cost tasks, like $2, $4 an hour tasks. You are not worth that. You should be doing more income increasing skills and thinking inside your business. So what does that look like? Obviously, you want to outsource just the very easy things of your book. The things that are just tedious, they take time, and anyone can do them through a little bit of training. What you want to be focusing on is just the planning and the brainstorming of your whole approach and what you're going to be doing. Managing the team slightly. Obviously, you want your assistant to be managing the bulk of the team, but you want to be out there making sure things are ran properly. You want to be at least focusing on reviews as well yourself. You can have the help of your assistant as well for this, but I think it's pretty important for you to use your time on this as well, because it's pretty important. You got your keywords, your titles, your strategy, and your ads. Now, the reason these last four are on the blue is because these are things that some people can outsource, but I think it's a bad idea to do it. Now, ads is arguable. However, you must learn the exact approach and the exact strategy of how to create the ads yourself first before you even think about outsourcing it. These things are the main moving parts of the business, and just the overall, quality of your book. You shouldn't really outsource these last ones. Now, next mistake that I made was launching the book. Weak launches will genuinely kill your book. You have to treat this more seriously. If you don't get 10 reviews, at least at minimum, run strong ads in the first week. You will make it very hard for yourself. I've learned this many times. And you got to be able to get that ranking early off the jump, so you can put yourself in a pretty good position going forward. Aim to actually get the new release badge. It's not too hard to get, and it helps you a lot, and that's a pretty good sign that you've ticked off all the boxes and done what you needed to do for the launch. This also goes to say, don't go publishing too many books, because then you spread yourself thin. You make it very hard for yourself to focus on one launch at a time. So that's my advice there, because things can get really messy once you start focusing on a lot of books. Don't be afraid to lose money on the ads as well. First 1 to 3 months, it's okay for you to lose a little bit of money just to be able to rank your book. Super important. The next mistake I made was not treating this as a business, guys. In the beginning, I started this when I was like 17, so I was pretty young. But even for the first like 3-4 years of my journey, Um, I definitely made this mistake. So you need to be able to shift your mindset from just making money to actually building a business. And there's a few things that come with this, but mainly it's assuming that you're actually going to sell this thing. And so if you're going to sell it, you have to treat it as a business and actually put it in a position that is, very in very good shape for you to sell it. Everything needs to be clean, everything needs to be quality, so you're able to do that. What I found with me personally, some guys are very like perfectionists and this isn't a problem for them. However, I'm the type of guy that's like, yeah, all right, let's just get books out. Let's get books out, So I think what can happen is like when you publish under a pen name, you kind of just don't really give a fuck. Like it can be easy to not care about the quality of your books and kind of just throw out whatever. No one knows it's yours. So, we'll see what happens. But basically, just imagine your name is the author name and try and like actually be proud of what you build. If you are, if you don't really want to like gift your books to someone or have other people in your family or your friend group read your books, then there's something wrong there. In my early days, I definitely didn't want people seeing my books. Nowadays, I don't care because it's quality. So I don't know, keep that in mind. It's something that happened to me in the earlier days. Next most important thing and the last thing, guys, is brand building. You already heard about this a million times, I'm sure, but I have some extra takes on why it's so important. The brand you pick should either be easy for you or something you enjoy. If it's anything outside of these two things, I genuinely believe it's a bad idea to go down that path. I think as long as the niche has profitability, obviously, you will win in this case because the joy or the ease makes it effortless for you when trying to destroy your competition. This is a long-term game. If you're building a brand, it's going to be like a 2-3 year minimum type of job for you to be able to like really squeeze yourself in this audience, in this niche. And so if it's a long job, it needs to be easy or it needs to be something that you enjoy. So try and shift your mindset in towards things that, tick off those boxes. I think it will make a big difference. If you don't care about your customer, really makes things difficult. And one thing that I wish I did in the earlier days as well, try and pick something where you care about the customer. Because if you're sending emails or you're creating ideas, these types of things, like you want to be able to know them, you want to be able to like share common interests potentially, or at minimum it needs to be easy to you. So keep that in mind. Now the next thing is just focus on your email list outside of the books. Your main focus should just be the books. Don't worry about any other bullshit. Too many people trying to build Facebook groups, and all this other stuff. Like it genuinely is a waste. Websites, these types of things, waste of time. Focus on what matters. 80-20 rule applies, and build your email list in the background. That's it. Now, brand building is important because there's a snowball effect. You focus on one audience, which means basically is one email list, one team that knows what they're doing, one focus in terms of like the brainstorming and the planning inside your mind and what you're going to do. And more than one brand, more than one audience can just make a mess. You start spreading yourself out thin and you basically just diminish your profits. When you're just all in on one audience, you know that one audience really well and you're just constantly providing books for them. As long as that audience is big and there's like, at least minimum 10 keywords in there that you can publish in, then, I think it's a good idea. Do not move into another brand until you have 100% sucked out all of everything you can. Then move on to the next. Overall, I think this just makes everything so much easier because, as I said before, you know your audience, you know what you're doing, and everything's just running so smoothly. As soon as you go 2 email lists, 3 email lists, or trying to find team members in other factors or other ghostwriters that specialize in different topics, like don't do that to yourself. You're really just going to create a mess. Try and keep things super, super simple and have your one team that just pumps out these books for the audience. manage everything on Slack or Upwork if you need to, and makes it very easy when it comes to automating, systemizing the business, and having your assistant just run everything. So these are the 5 things that I did in my earlier days, and even recently, guys, that I've noticed definitely have probably been the biggest mistakes, and I've lost a lot of money from making these mistakes. So hopefully, you found this helpful and you don't go and do the same thing. So, you profit more as well in KDP. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.